You've been taught to stand tall, but no one ever told you why. No one told you that the spine is more than bone, more than posture. It is memory. It is frequency. It is the transmission tower of who you are becoming, and yet you move through life ignoring it, numbing it, straightening it, cracking it, without ever tuning into what it's trying to say. There is a hidden signal within your spine, a subtle pulse that reflects your inner blueprint, your encoded architecture of purpose, pain, and potential. This signal isn't loud, it doesn't scream for attention, it hums like a forgotten song. You feel it when you sit still long enough, you hear it in the silence between your thoughts. But in a world that trains you to override subtlety, this language of vibration goes unnoticed. Have you ever felt misaligned without knowing what exactly was off? Like your energy was there, but not flowing. Like your thoughts were loud, but your center was silent. That's not just mental confusion, that's a spinal frequency disconnect. Most people think the nervous system is only wires and reflexes, but the ancients knew better. They saw the spine as a serpent of light, coiled energy that, when awakened, could rewire the human being from within. They called it Sushumna, the central channel, and within that channel lived codes, vibrational patterns that shaped the body, the mind, and the soul's direction. Modern science is catching up. Researchers now confirm what mystics felt. The spinal cord doesn't just transmit movement, it broadcasts emotional memory. Each vertebra stores trauma, stories, and suppressed instincts. So when your spine becomes rigid, when the fluidity is gone, you aren't just losing flexibility. You're losing access to who you were before the world reshaped you. This video isn't about fixing your posture. It's about decoding what your spine has been whispering all along. We begin not with force, but with presence. Let your breath find your lower back. Just notice, that's all. You're not correcting, you're contacting, and in that contact, something ancient stirs. Keep your awareness there, in the quiet curve of your lower back. Beneath the surface of your skin, there's more than muscle. There's memory, there's design. Your spine isn't linear, it moves in spirals. And those spirals aren't just physical, they are energetic. Every spiral reflects a frequency loop, and each loop connects past experience to present tension. The twist in your sacrum, the frozen breath between your shoulder blades. These are not random. They are echoes of something unspoken. Have you noticed how certain emotions make your spine react? Grief collapses the chest. Anger stiffens the neck. Shame tightens the lower back. These are not metaphors. They are postural imprints of unresolved energy. And yet, your culture rewards stiffness, calls it strength. A straight spine, a proud chest, a still neck. But stillness without awareness is not presence. It's armor. The spine was never meant to be a pillar of rigidity. It was meant to be a serpent, sensing, swaying, alive. When ancient traditions spoke of the Kundalini, they didn't speak of a metaphor. They spoke of a literal current, a wave that moves from the base to the crown only when the spine is awake enough to carry it. But how do you awaken something so quiet, so internal? We begin by softening, not by bending forcefully, but by listening. Bring your attention to the base of your spine, right above the tailbone. Feel the contact point with the earth. Even if you're standing, imagine that spot sinking downward, magnetically drawn. Now, take a breath. Not a deep one, a subtle one. Let it find that base. Let the breath be round, like a sphere expanding in all directions. You're not doing this to stretch. You're doing this to remember. The first layer is always sensation, subtle heat, gentle tingle, a shift in density. Don't rush it. The body speaks in microsignals, and it only speaks when you're quiet enough to hear. This is how the decoding begins. Now allow your breath to move upward, one vertebra at a time, not with force but with awareness. Imagine it like a ripple, subtle, fluid, organic. Your breath is not just air, it is a current. And when you guide it consciously, it becomes a tool for inner revelation. As the breath ascends, pause behind the navel. There, in the lumbar spine, your body holds the weight of survival, ancestral burdens, unspoken expectations, unconscious contractions. Every culture that emphasized control and obedience left its mark here. Feel into that space, not with judgment, with curiosity. If it feels dense, you're not broken, you're encoded. And today we're learning to read that code. Next, follow the breath higher to the space behind your heart, between the shoulder blades, the thoracic curve. This is where your spine begins to translate survival into identity. This is where you learned how to carry yourself in the world, how to shrink, how to puff up, how to disappear. But your spine remembers the shape it took before performance, before roles. You might feel heat there, maybe an ache. Don't fix it, just feel it. Now bring your breath to the neck, the cervical curve, where words get caught, where truth hides behind tension. You've swallowed so many things here, unsaid boundaries, withheld tears, silenced instincts. Your throat has learned to hold back more than it releases, and your neck bears the weight of that restraint. But here's the secret. When you breathe into the spine from base to crown, something begins to change, not just physically, energetically. The signal becomes clearer, the static fades, you begin to receive impressions, a color, a sensation, a memory, a word. This is the language of the spine, non-linear, subtle, true. You don't need to interpret it, just receive. This practice is not about analysis, it's about contact. The more you listen, the more the spine reveals. Its signal grows louder with your stillness, and now a new layer emerges. If this is speaking to you, if some part of you is remembering as you listen, then don't let it fade. Save this practice, return to it, share it with someone whose spine has been asking to be heard. This is how we reawaken. Not alone, but together through resonance. At this stage, something subtle begins to shift. The body moves, not from will, but from invitation. A micro adjustment in your posture, a small sway in your pelvis, a soft release in your jaw. You didn't tell it to move. It moved because it was finally heard. This is the spine remembering how to speak. You're not doing the movement, you're allowing it. And the moment you surrender to that intelligence, the signal of your inner blueprint grows stronger. It's not a single revelation. It's not a loud breakthrough. It's a layering, a rebuilding, a remembering. Now bring your awareness to the entire spinal column, from sacrum to skull. Imagine it as a shimmering thread, a filament of light weaving through your physical core. With each breath, you're charging that thread. You're energizing the central channel, the sushumna, not as theory but as felt experience. If your body wants to move, to spiral, to undulate, to stretch, let it. This is not choreography, this is resonance. You might feel emotional release, a tear with no story, a wave of peace, a tremble in your hands. That's your nervous system letting go of what it no longer needs to hold. Let the breath guide you, not as effort, but as presence. And if you don't feel anything yet, stay. Presence isn't always sensational. Sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's boring. But in that boredom, the mind softens. And when the mind softens, the signal of the spine becomes audible again. Here's the truth. Your spine knows who you were before the conditioning, before the tension, before the performance, and it doesn't need you to fix it, it needs you to feel it. We continue now, deeper into that thread of light where something else is waiting, not just memory, not just breath, but power. Power doesn't always explode, sometimes it hums. Sometimes it quivers beneath the skin. Real power is subtle. It waits for permission. As your breath continues to trace the curve of your spine, a subtle coherence begins to form. The vertebrae, once mechanical, now feel alive, like tuning forks aligning to a frequency you didn't know was yours. This is your energetic blueprint surfacing. You might feel a sense of verticality now, not from straightening but from awakening. Your spine isn't standing tall, it's being lifted. The difference is everything. This is not the posture you've been taught. This is the shape of truth, when the body no longer hides the soul. There's intelligence in the space between vertebrae. These aren't just bones. They're memory disks. They hold patterns passed down through lineage, patterns of contraction, of defense, of silence. And each time you bring breath and awareness into those spaces, the pattern loosens. The code changes. The spine is not just anatomical, it's vibrational. And when it's fully tuned, it becomes a transmitter, broadcasting who you really are beneath the layers. But you're not done yet. There's one more layer, not just motion, not just breath, but sound. Let your next exhale carry a tone, any tone. Don't perform it. Let it rise from the base and travel upward, spiraling through the spine like smoke. Let the vibration move what words can't. You may feel resonance in the chest, in the skull, in the sacrum. That's your inner frequency field being harmonized. This is how the ancients reprogrammed the body, not with force, but with breath, motion, and tone. You are not learning something new, you are remembering something old, something buried beneath posture and performance, something that's been waiting in the spine all along. And now, as the vibration settles, one final message begins to surface. Be still now. Let the spine settle into silence. You've activated breath, sensation, movement, sound, and now what remains is presence, the pure awareness of your own structure, no longer held, no longer controlled. This is where the real listening begins. Let your attention hover inside your spine as if your awareness were a soft light tracing the inner column. Feel what's different, not better, not fixed, just different, subtler, slower, more coherent. You might notice how your breath doesn't just go in and out, it spirals. How your awareness doesn't just sit, it radiates. This is coherence. This is alignment, not of posture, but of presence. You didn't fix your spine, you reconnected with it. You remembered that this part of your body is alive, not just in function, but in frequency. And now you have a choice. You can go back to ignoring it, or you can let this connection deepen. Because this practice isn't just for today. The spine holds daily messages, micro adjustments, intuitive cues, energetic openings. If you return to this breath, this movement, this tone, the signal gets stronger. And over time, your spine doesn't just support your body, it begins to shape your reality. This is how the ancients used the body as a key. Not through worship, through presence. The spine doesn't need you to be perfect, it needs you to be aware. So take one final breath, not to end, but to seal. Let it travel from your base to your crown, like a final stroke of a brush painting your frequency back into form. And when you're ready, open your eyes, not just outward, but inward, because now you don't just walk taller, you walk truer. The signal is active, the code is clear, the body remembers.